Continuing along, let's try one last one where we're told to solve the entire right triangle. First of all, let's start by drawing our right triangle. We have angle C, which is our 90 degree. We have angle A, which they did give us this time. Angle A here is going to be 62.5 degrees. And they did also give us side A as 12.7 meters. The thing that we don't know is side B, side C, or angle B. However, just like our previous ones, we do have 1, 2 of the angles out of the 3, so I can figure out what the third of them is pretty quickly. So first, let's find angle B. We know that all the angles in a triangle have to add up to 180 degrees. We know that this is a right triangle, so we can already take out the 90-degree angle we already have. We also know that angle A was given to us as 62.5 degrees, so we can take out that as well. And whatever's left over will be our angle B at the end. So let's see. We end up with 27.5 degrees for our angle B. So I can go ahead and fill that in as our angle B is 27.5 degrees. That is our angle B here. So we've got all 3 angles. Now we need to start going after the sides using our angles, which means now I need to use my trig functions. I'm again going to start off the same way I did before on the previous ones, which is start with the angle that they did give us, which is the angle A, 62.5, and its side that went along with it, which is side A, which is the side that is opposite. Do something a little bit different this time, and I'm going to go after side B first, which is the side that's adjacent. So this time I'm going after the trig function that has opposite and adjacent. Which trig function has opposite and adjacent? That's TOA, tangent. So I'm going to go after finding side B now. So how do I find side B? Well, using tangent, we've got tangent of our angle, which is 62.5 degrees. 62.5 degrees, and that's going to be our TOA, our opposite, over adjacent. Well, the opposite side we said is side A, which is 12.7, over your adjacent side, which is the thing we're trying to find, which is our side B. So how would we solve this? Well, first of all, we can't solve for B the way it is because it's on the denominator. So we need to get it out of the denominator by multiplying both sides by B. So that gets it out of the denominator and moves it over to the other side. So now what we have is we have B times tangent of 62.5 degrees equals our 12.7. Now, we're getting closer. At least B is not in the denominator now. How do we solve for B? We're going to divide both sides by tangent of 62.5 degrees to get the B by itself. So, I've got tangent of 62.5 degrees. That's going to give us our value for side B. So now what we have is we have that we can find our side B by plugging into our calculator 12.7, divided by tangent of 62.5. And again, notice that your angle 62.5 is in degrees, so you need to make sure that your calculator is in degree mode. But let's go ahead and plug that in and see what we get out. So what we get when we plug this into our calculator is that B equals 6.61, and that's in meters like our other side that we already had. Now we can find our third side, side C. So now we want to find side C. We can go ahead and use one of the 6 trigonometric functions, or now that we have 2 out of 3 sides, we can just use the Pythagorean theorem, which is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. We already know that side A was given to us way back in the beginning of the problem as 12.7, which the A would have to be squared, plus we just found B. We just found out that B was 6.61, so we can go ahead and plug that in for our side. B is 6.61. That will also be squared. We're trying to find the hypotenuse side C, which is squared. So then we can do our order of operations, which is going to tell us to do our exponents first. So we're going to square our 12.7 first, which gives us a total of 161.29. And then we need to do the same thing for our b squared. So we need to do the 6.61 squared, which gets us a 43.69, again, depending on how you round. And those still need to get added up. So I can add that to my 161.29. So my 161.29 and my 43.69 added up gets me a total of 204.98. That's our c squared, though, not our c. If we want to find out what c is, we still have to take the square root of both sides to get rid of the squared. And so let's see what we get when we take the square root of the 204.98. We get a value of 14.3. And this may vary slightly depending on what you rounded to in the previous steps and whenever you rounded. And this is in meters like your other sides. And remember to make sure that your answer makes sense. Your largest side on your triangle should always be the one that's opposite the 90-degree angle, your hypotenuse. And this is the largest side, so this does look right. And we're all done. And we've solved the right triangle because we have all 3 angles and all 3 sides.